Fabulous Friday in the world of sport. It's a lot of things happening in the world of sport, especially when it comes to the weekend. We know that there is football, there is basketball, the National Youth Games in Asaba Delta State, and other things, of course, happening in the world of sport. And we say good evening to you, Nigeria, and welcome to Game On. Yes, the last episode for this week, as we've been talking sports, all things sports, since Monday up until Friday, and it's time to give you more updates when it comes to the world of sport. And Favor Itwa, your anchor for today's edition of the program. Don't forget, you can be part of the conversation via our social media platform at News Central TV on X. And you get to also follow the conversation. And today being Friday, as usual, we will be opening the phone lines where you can also call in and talk about sport and what is bothering you at the moment when it comes to the world of sport. As usual, like Liverpool, they say we never walk alone. I have two wonderful gentlemen, men who will be doing this sports with me this evening. From my far right, Obajolowo Adebari, Okpe Billions joins us this evening. Happy Friday to you. And in Nigeria, we'll use to this phrase, TGIF.
Yeah, definitely favor TGIF. I'm happy to come to the end of the week. It's been a very, very long week. But I think it's also been very eventful when it comes to the world of sports. And I mean, for sports lovers out there, you know, club football is back. That's what a lot of people are looking forward to. We already kickstarted a couple of hours ago, you know, with the Bundesliga. And I think we'll have more of like the limelights being shone on the NPFL this weekend. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
All right, and to the elder in the house, who will be bringing us nuggets and wisdom when it comes to the world of sport. He is the former media officer of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, a veteran sports journalist. Tony Bitoye joins us this evening. Good evening to you, and welcome to Game On.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Favor. Thank you, Okpe.
It was a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, happy to be here, as always, in the midst of very enterprising guys, to give all the updates in the fast-paced, exciting world of sports, particularly on a Friday when there is a lot to look forward to. As Okpe said, plenty of domestic football. Our clubs on the continent were busy today.
Exactly.
Rangers in Uyo, Enyimba in Bamako, Mali. And they have some good results at least to show in the CAF Champions League and in the CAF Confederations Cup. And we're looking forward to a whole lot of exciting stuff this weekend as well.
All right, let's go straight to business and talk about the ever-exciting world of sport. We start from the National Youth Games in Asaba Delta State, where Mustapha Ridwanullahi won Team Kwara first medal at the ongoing 8th National Youth Games in Asaba Delta State at the para table tennis boys singles. Now, the event were held at the indoor sports hall of Stephen Keshi Stadium, Asaba, on Thursday. Ridwanullahi showed his superiority over his opponent, Waturucha triumphed from Imo State in the quarterfinals match 3-0. He finished in 11-0, 11-3, 11-1. However, he lost the semifinal to Akwachuku Ima from Delta State 2-3 with 5-11, 11-6, 9-11, 11-8, 9-11 in a keenly contested game. Meanwhile, Obajolowo Moboluware made Kwara State proud by winning a silver medal in the 100-meter butterfly boys event at the ongoing National Youth Games in Asaba Delta State. And of course, this outstanding achievement has boosted Kwara's hopes for a successful outing in swimming with the latest win, and Kwara State's medal count has increased to 2, a bronze medal, a table tennis, and of course, that's a para table tennis medal and a silver medal in swimming. Now, as the competition enters its second day, hopes are high for more medals. Of course, that's the update coming in from the National Youth Games. Tony Bitoye, the games have started, and athletes have started winning medals, different states. And interestingly to know that the next future stars will be discovered in this tournament. Yeah,
this is a very important competition. It's the property of the Federal Ministry of Sports. And I want us to focus more on these kind of grassroots programs. Because as you said, this is the generation next of superstars, of elite athletes who will be finishing on the podium for us in international competitions, Olympics, Paralympics, and all of that. And I'm happy that we have para-table tennis among some of the events that we are competing for. So it's an opportunity for us to now begin to look for replacement for some of those aging athletes that we took to the Paralympic Games in some of these events. And swimming and all of that. It's always good to catch them young, and I'm happy that this program has seen the light of day. Delta has been very dominant in this event. Kwara has been hosting for a couple of years. Then I think Kano wanted to host the last time, and then they pulled out at the last minute. But I'm happy that Delta stepped in and are giving these young ones an opportunity to compete, to be discovered. And I think the focus of the Federal Ministry of Youth, the Federal Ministry of Sports, should be on competitions like this if we want to continue to churn out talents and keep that conveyor belt rolling for us.
We've seen over times, over 30 sports have been represented in the federations in Asaba Delta State, but it seems that only a few federations really take these competitions seriously, in the sense that now we're seeing someone who has won medals in swimming, but when you look at the international stage, we have issues getting our athletes to qualify to the Olympic Games from swimming. You look at other federations and you say, what is the essence of having the National Youth Games and we have athletes from these federations or from different associations compete, and at the end of the day, we cannot say that we are competitive or competitive in these federations when it comes to the youth level at the world stage and, of course, the international level.
Yeah, so it's quite simple for me, and the question is, aside the youth games, how many other avenues do some of these federations have to actually create competition for the athletes? That's just the simple question. Aside the youth games, how many other times do we even have swimming competitions? And, I'm grateful for Delta State government for investing in sports. But the truth is that it doesn't go around nationwide. How many other states can boast of Olympic standards swimming pools that can actually help these athletes to know what it feels like to compete on the global stage? A couple of months ago, here in Lagos, I was opportune to attend the WTT contender in Lagos, and I was listening to the governor of Lagos State speaking, and he did say at that time that there would be, an Olympic standard swimming pool that would be unveiled in Roe Park very soon. It's been months since then, and it's actually been 3 months since then, and as I speak to you now, it's not been unveiled. So what is the situation around that? That's one thing. Competition aside, another thing has to be coaching. Do we invest in coaching? I don't think we have, the right mentality when it comes to investment in coaching. That's also a problem for us, because sometimes, yes, we could have the talent, but we don't have the personnel needed to train these athletes to go in the right way. And it's better that we decide to invest in our own coaches, because I don't think that we have the finances to go ahead and get foreign expertise to help us to develop our athletes.
All right, before we move on, Toyi Bitoye, there were talks just about yesterday on the age limit of this competition. I remember once upon a time it was under 17 years. The minister before the former minister did say it's going to be under the age of 15. And now there are talks of bringing it back to the under 17 age limit to get more athletes discovered. What's your take on this? Do you think we should just maintain the under 15, or we should go back to under 17 like how it started in the first edition?
I'm not really too bothered about the nomenclature. What I want us to focus on more is the organization and the ability for this to churn out athletes. If you call it an under-15 tournament, do we have a structure in place to ensure that genuine under-15s are the ones taking part in it? If we call it under-17, do we have those structures to ensure that they are genuine under-17s? My boss, when I was working with the ministry, Sunday Dari, worked in conjunction with the NIN office to ensure that we are able to certify that those who are competing are of the correct age, and there are no issues of mercenaries or forged identities or falsification of age and all of that. That for me is a lot more important. If we make it a competition for those in secondary schools, we know that's clearly under 15, under 17 for secondary schools, because we know SS3.
You
are
A-levels as well.
A-levels, you are probably in your 15, 16 at 15, 16 at that point. I mean, the minister is trying to say that you shouldn't even be 18. You should be 18 before. So if we make it under 17, that's probably more like the secondary school competitions. The most important thing is, do we have those structures to ensure that those who are competing are from schools or are of the right age, not mercenaries, not old people who do not have too many years to give to the sports before they fizzle out. That for me is a lot more important.
All right, let's quickly take a look at the medals table. That's the medals table that were released this morning. We've been having issues getting the updated medals table, but this is the medals table as at 6 a.m. Today being Friday. Delta State topping the table chart with 2 gold, 0 silver, and 0 bronze medals. Second place is Ogun State. Abia State is in third. Bayelsa fourth. Edo State fifth. Kwara State sixth. But Kwara, we know they've also added more medals to theirs, including other states. And we just hope that the local organizing committee and the MOC will be able to put heads together to give us medals table in real time. But this is as at 6 a.m. on Friday, and this is how the medals table look like. We'll keep you updated as the games continues. Let's quickly move away from here and go straight to the world of basketball. It was all smiles for the junior Tigress. Tigress, of course, our star girl Idubamo Beggi pulled all the stops on the continent to power Nigeria to the final of the 2024 FIBA Under-18 Women's Afrobasket today in South Africa. Now, the irrepressible ball handler scored to lead score the game-high 23 points to lead the junior Tigress to 71-67 victory over their Ugandan opponent in their last semi-final of the championship. Now, the Nigerian ladies led in all the first 3 quarters of the match, while the Ugandans' late rally lead of 13-10 in the final period was not enough. Now, aside Beggi's inspirational play, rebounding monster Abigail Isaac cleaned the boards on a game-high 14 occasions to aid the Nigerian team to the win. Now, the hard-fought victory into the final of the South African competition comes with a FIBA Under-19 Women's World Cup ticket in Czech Republic. Of course, Nigeria will play Mali for a place to win the competition or the Afrobasket Under-18 Championships come Saturday. Now, joining us is a basketball expert and media manager of the Rivers Hoopers Basketball Club. But she's been following up, of course, the tournament since the start of it. I have Queen Mosep joining us this evening from Lagos, Nigeria. Good evening to you, Queen. Welcome to Game On.
Good evening, Favor. Thank you for having me.
It seems they say what the men can do, the women can do even more. And that's the case of the Junior Tigress. Despite the challenges they faced from the beginning of the tournament, at a point in time, you know, the issue of flu, and now they are in the finals of the women's Under-18 Afrobasket. What do you make of this, and how much of positives is this for Nigeria as a whole?
Quite a great achievement for the girls. This is the second time in history they are making it to the finals of this particular competition. The only time these girls go through, not the set of girls, but the Junior Tigers got through to the finals was way back in 2010. That's 14 years ago. And at that particular point in that game, they even lost to Egypt in that final, and they settled for a silver medal. So after 14 years, getting to another final is huge, is remarkable. Interesting fact is that the quarterfinal and also the semi-final games were against teams they had lost to in the group stage. They lost the opening game to Egypt in the first game, lost to Uganda in the third game. That's the last group stage game, which a lot of us felt that that game should have been won by them. I know it was a difficult game for them, but it was a game they should have won because they started really, really well. So it's an incredible feat for the girls, for this set of girls, making huge a name for themselves on this particular platform. And Under-18, these are the future D Tigers we are seeing at the moment. So they've had an incredible run. Not too smooth. It has been bumpy because of the 2 games they lost in the group stage. So they finished as one of the 2 top best placed teams in the competition, because looking at the competition system, 2 top teams from each of the group, and then the third best placed team, 2 of the 3 groups get to go through, of which we took one of the spots. So from a best loser position to now getting to the final, I think is a remarkable feat. It's something Nigerians are really proud of. For the girls. It shows that the girls are doing something great. And you go to the national team, the senior national team, the girls keep getting us trophies and titles and making us proud. I'm not shading the guys anyway, but it's just the truth. It's just the truth. The Tigers have really been great for us in the last, let's say, 7 years, since 2017. They've ruled Africa and they still rule Africa. And now taking it to the world stage, the junior Tigers now are not taking that step. And it goes to show that there is something good that the girls are doing, of which maybe the boys need to just take a leaf from and then just borrow a leaf from the girls and see what they can achieve.
Well, and Queen, I agree with you absolutely. The girls, not just in basketball, of late, our women have been the ones bailing us out. So we thank you for bailing us out, and we urge you to continue. Please keep bailing us out. But I want to ask you, how optimistic are you that these girls can go one step further, that is to emerge champions against Mali? How do you rate their chances against Mali in the final? And then how would you want them to be prepared for the Under-19 World Cup in Czech Republic next year? Do you think we should strengthen this team? Do we get backup for these girls, or do you think they are good to go as they are and just get them adequately prepared?
I think they are good to go. It's a youth competition, not like the senior national team, where we know that we are going for the World Cup, Olympics, and all of that. It's a cadet competition, and what is it for? It's for you to showcase your talent, to see the next generation of the national team, to see the next generation of athletes, of players who will do us proud, who will go on the world stage and then shake the world stage. So I think I'm confident in these girls, this set of girls that we brought up. What we need to do more is now to give them proper training, preparation ahead of the 2025 World Cup. Some of these girls are from club side right here in Nigeria, like Idubamo Beggi, the Bayelsa. She plays for MFM basketball. Emba Wado, the captain of the side, plays for MFM basketball. So some of these players play in our local league. And it still goes down to the fact that our local league is not strong enough structurally. We still have challenges around the league, even though we've had the first phase of the league 2 weeks ago. We're looking forward to the next phase in 2 weeks' time or thereabouts. So, but we still need them to have a lot of playing time. It's the next generation of players. So I don't think we should start sourcing for players from left-hand side of the world to see how we can book. I know it's good enough if we want to do with the quality we have, the quality that Beggi has shown, the quality that Isaac, Abigail has shown, the quality like Temi has shown. A lot of these girls, many of us don't know about them. Few of them, I watch them in the league because it's not just the first time they are playing. Like Eba Wado plays for the MFM basketball. She has even represented Nigeria at the 3-on-3 competition. So these are players, some of them are just getting known with this platform. Some of them have been on the local scene and now trying to make a name for themselves in the national team or in the international stage. So I think we should let them flourish. Allow them express themselves, allow them to see what we can do, what we can get from the World Cup. So, but I think it will now be down to preparation, what the federation will be able to prepare them or how they'll be able to prepare them early enough, and also prepare them well. And your question about can they go one step further playing against Mali? That game is going to be really, really tough. It's a tough game, no doubt about it. We are facing the 8-time champions. We've never won this competition before. Mali are one of those countries in Africa that take their youth competition really seriously. It's like they take it as their own. Unlike Nigeria, we don't take our youth competition so serious. We don't take it so serious. Few times or few years we might make appearance. Some years we don't make appearance and all of that. Some years we make appearance and we don't go far. But Mali, Senegal, they try to make it count whenever they go for this kind of competition, especially Mali. And that was why when our boys team played yesterday, I knew that game was not going to be really smooth for the guys. It was going to be really tough. So if you want to get out there and pick that game, then you need to play better than your best when you're going out there. So against Mali is going to be really tough. And they have the size over us. history is working in their favor. They are favorites because of how well they've gone in this competition. They rattled Cameroon in the semi-final. So they're riding in confidence going into that final. For us, we want to make history for ourselves. If we get on to win that final, it will be our very first medal or very first title at the Under-18 Afrobasket. But can we go all the way to the world stage to see what we can do? Yes, we can't rule them out because one thing about international competitions is that your group stage, the pairing has to favor you at first. So when you have a good prepare well as well, then you can focus on the team you are going to focus on.
Queen, good evening. And for me, when it comes to team sports, not just basketball, I think the bedrock for the success of the players is their understanding and interpretation of coaching, in my own opinion. So I want you to give us a bit of an insight to how important Coach Juliana has been to this team. And in your own opinion, from your experience with basketball in Nigeria, do you think that the J Tigers have a realistic opportunity or a realistic pathway into getting into the senior team? I'm talking about the Tigers.
Yes, they do. They actually do. With what Idubamo Beggi has, I keep calling her name because she's like the focal point in that team. She's like the go-to girl in that D Tigers team right now. Not to forget Isaac, Abigail, who is that defensive focal point as well. They have a huge chance of making the D Tigers, but it all goes down on the federation now to make that transition. These are under 18. And then for the national team, we see 20-year-olds, we see girls in their 20s, early 20s, mid-20s. So in a couple of years, in 2 years' time, like we have the Afrobasket women coming up next year, what stops a player like Idubamo Beggi making the team? She might not make the team now. It all depends on the form, the current form of the players of her position. You know, it's always by position when it comes to basketball. She's a guard. So who are the guards we have in the international scene for the D Tigers? Are they already phasing out? And that is where it now comes down to transition, like I've mentioned. Are the federation going to look into this? Not just wait till the likes of Isabella is aging, when she's completely aging and then she can't give her best anymore. Is that the time we'll now start looking out for point guards here and there? This is the time to pick an Abigail Isaac. This is the time to pick Idubamo Beggi and then bring them into the national team, because after the under-18, this is the national team. So this is now the time to transition them into the national team. So they are good enough to make the team. So they might not be mature enough in terms of professionalism and in terms of age, but we saw let's look at football, we saw the Spanish national team, and we saw how an under-17 or a player who was 17 or 18 years of age was in the national team and did well. I even scored the goal for Spain at the Euros. So, but this is what we need to do and expect from the federation. Transition. You need to transition these girls. These girls cannot just fade away after the under-19 World Cup and then just leave them to start sourcing for clubs or looking for a way to go to Europe. But we need to bring them down to national team. And then don't forget, the national team, the D Tigers, some are already aging. Like I mentioned, Leslie Carlo, how old is she now? She's 36 or 35. So in a couple of years, she might not be able to move her legs as fast as we are seeing how aggressive, the aggression, the energy we are seeing from Leslie Carlo. This is now the time for us, for the coaches or Coach Juliana, to work alongside with the federation and see how this girl cannot transition to make Coach Rena. Coach Rena has her own work cut out as well. I hope she's also watching these girls, because these are the generation of the Tigers that we should expect.
All right, a very interesting one right there. And we know that we are also looking forward to see our girls get, the trophy or, winning the tournament and, of course, preparing well for the World Cup. I must say a big thank you to you, Queen Mustapha, for your quality time. It's been an interesting time talking basketball with you, and keep the flag flying, being the women's representative at the moment. Give us more reason to smile, and while we also work things out with the guys in the studio.
We thank you.
We can come back.
Thank you for all you are doing.
Thank you for everything. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, that was, of course, Queen Mustapha talking about the Junior Tigress. Let's quickly take a look at the results from other matches played in basketball games. We saw, of course, Zambia, winning against Zimbabwe 50-45 points. Morocco defeated South Africa 84-47 points. The classification games: Rwanda 5th to 8th position. Rwanda lost to Angola 43-48 points, and it was Egypt who got the better of Tunisia 68-28 points. Semi-finals: Mali trashed Cameroon 103-45 points. I'm really scared for Nigeria, actually.
A blowout.
A blowout, actually, for Mali. And then Nigeria also got a very good result against Uganda in that category. 71-67, that's the correct score. All right, 71-67. That's how we finished for Nigeria against Uganda. And let's quickly move on to a sport that is gaining prominence, not just in the northern part of the country, but of course internationally. The Hausa traditional combat sport of Dambi continues to gain international appeal after 2 Eastern European fighters prepare to make their debut in the upcoming Dambi Tournament scheduled for the velodrome of the Moshood Abiola Stadium, of course, in Abuja on Sunday. Now, the duo of Denis Shenish from Russia and Mateusz Rajkak from Poland will be the center of attraction at Sunday's event when they face seasoned Dambi fighters Dogon Shege, Mota, and Dan Yellow, respectively. Now, speaking at the press conference ahead of the event, Rajkak, also known as the White Mamba, said he was overwhelmed by the warm reception he had received and was looking forward to competing in a new sport.
My brother David Osanga from Judo Movement and Africa Political Team called me on the phone when I was in Warsaw, and he asked me this question. Hi Mateo, do you know Dambi? I said no. Do you want to fight it? I said yes. This is how it happened. And then he showed me how it looks like, because I'm a warrior. We don't pick the fights, we just fight. This is what we do. So I am honored to be able to fight in such competition, because we've been to villages, like the original Dambi villages. That was the best experience of my life, the deepest I had ever in my life. So, God brought me here.
All right, that was, of course, Rajkak, White Mamba, talking there about his experience and what he's looking forward to. I'm scared for him, especially in the sport that, yeah, it might look like a mixed martial art kind of sport, even though it's not, done in the octagon. But coming to fight a Nigerian who, of course, I mean, the sport itself is what a Nigerian knows how to do, especially in this part of the world. Do you see what are his chances, and also the aspect of getting international, athletes coming to Nigeria to do the sport?
Yeah, first of all, I think Dambi has been getting a lot of global recognition. If you try and track them on social media, you see that they have a good audience outside of Nigeria. A lot of Europeans love it. And, recently in Lagos, I was opportunity to be at a Dambi event, and I did see a good number of Europeans come to watch the spectacle. What are their chances of being successful? First of all, if you have a good background in combat sports, it does help you. However, just like you've said, Dambi is quite different. One part of your hand is tightly fisted with some sort of rope, and, that's what you use to strike. So the question is, have they gotten themselves accustomed to, the apparatus that they will use to wrap around their arm? That's the only thing they're going to be using to strike, just that one hand. And then once in a while, you can use your knees. And then you need to go according to the rhythm, as it may be, the rhythm of the fight. So I think those are technicalities that they will need to work on if they want to be successful coming into this Dambi event.
Toy?
No, I have my fears for this fine-faced Polish guy. I was just imagining those fists wrapped with dry skin and very dangerous to the face. What kind of damage they will do to the face of that guy? But as we said, it's a sport. So some of these things are controlled, and there are, mechanisms in place to ensure that there are treatments for those who get injured or get wounded in the fight. So it's good to see that this is gaining traction and it's gradually becoming a feature. Bigger. Yeah, it's becoming a feature. And who knows? Since the origin is Nigeria, we can also do all that we need to do to ensure that we stay on top of it.
Definitely.
Should this become an Olympic sport, or should it become a professional sport? So
All right.
it's a way of empowering the youth.
All right, a way of empowering the youth, and we hope they can take it seriously. Once upon a time, breakdance used to be, something you do for fun. It later, was brought into the Olympics, even though we know that this might just be the end, ahead of the Los Angeles 2028 Olympics. But we'll wait to see how it goes when it comes to the world of Dambi. We'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking all things football. All right, welcome back. You're still watching Game On the News Central TV. It's time to go straight to the world of football. Why we are basking on the euphoria of what the Super Eagles have been able to achieve in the last few days in football in Africa. The Super Falcons of Nigeria, there's a kind of an issue surrounding the Super Falcons with coaching, with reports coming out this morning that Coach Randy Waldrum had resigned his position as head coach of the Super Falcons of Nigeria, made the headlines after, guiding the team to the Paris 2024 Olympics. But the Nigerian Football Federation has clarified through, of course, a tabloid, of course, talking about footballlive.ng, saying that, Randy Waldrum's claim is not the true situation of things. And I read, the Nigerian Football Federation has clarified recent claims concerning the status of senior women's national team head coach Randy Waldrum. Now, contrary to rumors of a resignation on Friday morning, the NFF confirms that Coach Waldrum's contract had expired following the conclusion of the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Now, during his almost 4-year reign as Falcons head coach, Waldrum guided the Super Falcons to the round of 16 at the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup and broke a 60-year drought by qualifying the team for the Olympics. Now, with Waldrum's contract now concluded following the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, the NFF is making strategic plans to appoint a new head coach for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Right, we have joining us this evening a women football expert, also former media officer of the Falcons, and Bella Ikioma joins us this evening. Isabella, good evening to you and welcome to Game On. I mean, you look stunning this evening, and of course, at the moment, there's fire on the mountain to some, but I would like to know your thoughts on what happened this morning up until this evening, Waldrum resigning, and later on, we're hearing that, it is not resignation, rather, his contract had expired, so there was no case of resigning when there was not even an existing contract.
Yes, I was quite surprised this morning when I read that he has resigned, because from what I gathered before now, that his contract actually expired after Paris 2024, that is after the Super Falcons crashed out of the Paris Olympics. So I was quite surprised when I heard that he resigned, because I know he doesn't have a contract. But what I did was I had to, further, make some calls to clarify specifically if what actually happened. And I confirmed that actually his contract expired after Paris 2024. So that means he doesn't have any contract. And then he also cited health reasons of his wife's health issues and all that. I don't know why that one had to come out dated yesterday, being 12th of September. That's the letter dated, and I was quite surprised. But then the thing is, he is no longer the coach of the Super Falcons. The NFF are shopping for a new coach for the team. So while every other person is being optimistic and very eager to know who will actually replace Randy Waldrum as the coach of the Super Falcons.
All right, Isabella, there seems to be a trend. I mean, if you've observed the NFF, this recent board in the last few weeks or last few months, they tend to, delay in making announcements or making statements, and they allow themselves to be dragged before coming out to respond. Don't you think that, after the contract ended, there should have been a statement of, we are looking for a coach, or this is the situation of things, instead of allowing, issues like this fly out to the media, and then it becomes, a kind of an embarrassment when you look at how things were handled. Don't you think things should have been done better, more better in terms of arrangement, announcement, and, the media aspect of the NFF?
Immediately after Paris 2024, after the Super Falcons crashed out, what could have been done was just to tell everybody, release it to the media, that the Super Falcons coach is no longer assigned to Nigeria, that he is now a free person. He's free to take on another coaching job, and that there is vacancy in that position. But they didn't do that. I don't know why they actually had to allow that to filter out to the media, and it comes out wrongly, because in a media group that I was part of before then, I heard reliably that his contract will expire after Paris 2024, and that was what happened. I don't know why they had to wait that long, to try and defend, because right now, Randy Waldrum had to write that letter. That was yesterday, and they now had to debunk and clarify that that wasn't the actual situation. This should have been done earlier than now. It should have been done, let me say, tops a week after Paris 2024. Just come out, tell the media there is vacancy here in this Super Falcons top job. The coach Randy Waldrum is no longer with us. We thank him for his services and all that and all that. That should have been what they could have done, but they didn't do that. And right now they are clarifying things. This is not what should have come first. That is like putting the cat before the horse. So this is something that they should have done earlier. But I hope maybe going forward that the media department of the NFF will do better.
All right, Isabella, let's move away from there and quickly go straight to the Falconets. They were knocked out of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in a manner that, 2-1 loss, not an embarrassing scoreline, but a lot of persons expected more from the Falconets, especially with players from the Flamingos graduating into the Under-20 side. Christopher Danjuma seemed to have been there for a long time, but a lot of persons have not seen, really much on the international scene, especially the World Cup when it comes to the Falconets. Your take on Nigeria's outstar from the Under-20 FIFA Women's World Cup?
The truth is that I was expecting them to move further than the round of 16. I wasn't even expecting them to even crash at the quarterfinal stage. Why I'm saying this is that they have the crop of players that can go all the way to the finals. The players like Chamaka or Okuchukwu, they have Ajakaye from the Flamingos, they have Flourish Sabastine, they also have a Morin. They have a lot of good players coming into this thing. And these players are players who know what it takes to be at this very stage. Some of them came from the Flamingos, then to the Falconets. And then Coach Christopher Danjuma, initially, he played some of the players out of positions. And then when he now played them rightly, that was when we defeated Venezuela by 4-0. And then yesterday's game, I was quite disappointed. I didn't like the bite that it gave me in that game, because I was up there up to 2 a.m. I had to watch through the link despite the glitches and all that. I was being hopeful that they could have gone all the way to at least defeat Japan, but it wasn't meant to be. The Japanese were a very tactical side. They were more compact, and they never underrated the Falconets. And that was just what happened. The goal that is scored, it was just towards the dying minutes of the game. I think it's the 91st minute. That was when they scored that one goal. I expected them to do more. And as it is now, Coach Christopher Danjuma has been with the team for a long time. Well, if you ask me, I think there should be a change of hands in that very position. And then we have the players. I just want some progression. Some of these players from the Falconets, let them move from the Falconets to the Super Falcons. We have the players for that. And I hope maybe whoever that is going to take over from Christopher Danjuma will bring in this crop of players. Don't just let them to go, just go there and all that. Let them come together and then maybe move to the senior team.
All right, thank you very much, Isabella Ikioma, for your quality time. We hope that all these issues will be resolved. We'll have a coach for the Super Falcons, and of course have a very good, platform structure in terms of integrating ladies into the senior team and the under-20s, and also doing better when it comes to future tournaments. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me once again.
All right, that was Isabella Kioma talking about the Super Falcons coaching issue and also the Falconet. Let's also let you know that the phone lines are officially open. You can call in and talk about any sporting issue that is bothering you at the moment. And the numbers displayed on your screen at the moment. I'll be taking your calls and, of course, your thoughts on the program. All right, let's quickly give them the results and fixtures, of course, for the Under-20 Women's World Cup. Nigeria lost to Japan 2-1, but of course we have fixtures: Germany against Argentina, North Korea against Austria, France against Netherlands, and Japan against Nigeria. That's the fixtures for the Under-20 Women's World Cup. Although Japan is done and dusted, all right, so that's that on that, but not a good one, Toyin. Falconets were knocked out from the round of 16, an age tournament that we expect, in as much as some people say it's a developmental stage, but we should be doing well, especially looking at the Super Falcons direction, where these girls or these ladies would one day play in the Super Falcons of Nigeria.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the disappointment because most of these girls were with the Flamingos that played up to the semifinals of the Under-17 Women's World Cup the last time. But then there's a big difference in quality and class from under-17 to under-20. At that under-20 level, you are very close to the senior national team. For that loss to Japan, don't forget the Japanese were losing finalists the last time. They lost to Spain in the final of the last one. So they are not pushovers. They are very strong. They have a very strong women's football culture. Remember, Japan were also in our group at the Olympics, and they beat us 3-1. So it's a level of the development of the women's game in Japan that counts. So yeah, we are disappointed.
But we have sorry to cut you short.
Okay,
we have a call, Christian from Enugu. Christian, good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you. Hello, Christian.
Good evening. I'm here. I'm with you.
All right. What's on your mind this evening?
Yes, I just wanted to express my worry. I just wanted to express my worry.
Okay.
Okay. I just wanted to express my worry on the clear ineptitude of the men at the glass house. First, it was Izzy Labadia with the Super Eagles. Now it is Waldron with the Super Falcons. I know that shortly after, I think the Olympics or something, it was clear. We knew that the man's contract has expired. And then there was the ceremony whether he was going to come back, he was not going to come back. Finally, he came back, and they are telling us this. It's right time this guy stop playing with the only thing that gives Nigerians joy.
All right.
Imagine the embarrassment. Imagine the embarrassment of the whole Super Eagles. And now this.
All right, Christian.
I think they should sit up and do something.
All right. Thank you very much, Christian, for your thoughts. I mean, expressing this displeasure of how things are going right now in the world of football in Nigeria. But we'll also wait to see how it goes. Let's quickly give you updates from the Confederation of African Football. We hear that the cities have been unveiled that will host the Nations Cup in 2025 in Morocco. Lovely cities to witness the very best of football in Africa. Casablanca, Fez, Marrakesh, Tangier, Rabat, Agadir. These are the cities that would host the tournament from December in 2025 up until January 2026. And while we're talking about that, we had some interesting games played today in the CAF Confederation Cup and CAF Champions League. For Enugu Rangers of Nigeria, they won narrowly 1-0 against Sagrada Esperanca, and US Monastir won against MC Oja 1-0 in the CAF Confederation Cup. It was Eyimba who went away from home to play out a goalless draw against Etoile Filante of Burkina Faso. Okpe Antoine, in just a space of less than a minute, your take on this result. What are the chances of the teams making it to the group stage of the CAF Champions League and CAF Confederation Cup?
It's a very tricky one for Rangers. That Angolan side is a very decent side, although in that game, they hardly troubled Rangers, but it could be a different proposition when you are playing in front of your fans. So Rangers have to go to Angola with the mindset of trying to get a result in that game. They can do it, and if they are able to scale this or do, they are in the
group stage.
In the group stage.
Money spinning
group stage.
All right.
Yeah, and for me, I think for Enyimba, I think the major problem is the fact that the reverse fixture is not really going to feel like a home fixture for them. They're going to be playing at Uyo, so they don't really have a choice but to play there because that's the only CAF accredited stadium. However, with the experience of today's matchup, they will know what to do better in terms of trying to get a victory.
Neutral ground.
Exactly.
Burkina Faso playing in Mali. Enyimba is still playing in Nigeria.
Of course.
So they can easily move their fans to Uyo for that game and mobilize people in Uyo to fill the stands and support them.
Yeah. All right, let's give you fixtures for the NPFL this weekend. We have interesting fixtures. Match day 2 in different centers, Saturday and Sunday respectively. Rivers United will be at home to Heartland Football Club. Remo Stars will be up against Sunshine Stars, the Southwest Derby right there in that center. Akwa United will be at home against Abia Warriors, neighboring state. Bayelsa United will welcome Kano Pillars, same Mesugida. Katsina United will be home against Bendel Insurance. And, of course, we get to see other interesting fixtures from the Nigeria Premier Football League match day 2. It's been an interesting time, of course, on the show today. We can go on and on to talk sport, but one of the things that happened today, Steven Goran Eriksson, family and friends paid tribute after the funeral of the legend in terms of coaching. We can only say that he so rest in peace. We'll always remember what he has done for the world of football. But
it was almost coach of Super Eagles.
Yeah, at
the point in time. Okay. So that's our own link to him. And it was good for England.
Okay.
And was coach of Cote d'Ivoire to the 2010 World Cup as well.
Yeah. All right.
So may so continue to rest and may God comfort his family.
Amen. All right, amen. Thank you very much, Okpa Adebari, for your quality time. Always a nice time doing sports.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you to Tony Bitoye. What a way to wrap up this week's edition of Game On. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Before we go, let's let you know that former Chelsea and Arsenal goalkeeper Peter Cech has lost none of his shot-stopping ability, with the Czech making 62 saves in one ice hockey match. Now, the 43-year-old is continuing to scratch his competitive sporting itch after swapping the football pitch for the ice rink. Now, Cech, who left his role as technical director at Chelsea in June 2022, still lives in England and is turning out for local ice hockey side Oxford City Stars. Unsurprisingly, he fills the role of goaltender as a Premier League, Champions League, Europa League and FA Cup winning goalkeeper in the world of football, and his reflexes remain as sharp as ever. Interesting one. Saving the balls while he's goalkeeper and during his time, and also doing the same on the ice. I was talking about ice hockey. When you have a talent, as a form is temporal, class is permanent. I must say a big thank you to you, viewers who took our time to watch today's edition of Game On. And Favor Itwa, thank you very much for watching.